True, the serpent did not seduce Eve to the apple. It was the snake itself who ate it. In its innocence, it took the truth for toothsome, bolted it, and slept, a bulbous gem in coils. Eve, bareful, high, in commune with the whispering trees, with hale palms rasping, gliding and grasping the gentle leaves, feet conversing with every seed and thorn, spied the gem, punctuating the shining loop, and knew at once a jewel. She ate the snake alive. Her tongue, a mass of muscles manipulating every inch, then fell into a deep sleep on the easy moss beneath the tree, for 6 scything suns, till Adam. Adam ran loose through the fat-brimmed forest, looking for the way, was lost. His consciousness had shrunk to just his skull. He was apart. He wanted touch again, for Eve, a breath, a heart, a breast, a rib. He smelt her satisfaction and bowed before her shining down, ripe locks and black nails plugged. Eve didn't stir to bless him, so he brought inquiring lips and tasted her keen skin. Unhinged with hunger, Adam ate Eve. Starting at the toes, which he bound in, masticating bones, holding her heels, he salivated at each curve of calf and the cusps behind her, crunch of knees he chewed and watched her comatose twisting, her spinning hips, her arching spine. He stopped to rest once he'd finished her legs, and lay in the soft mulching bark, leaning into fragrance, insects scuttling over him and the waking evening, and gazed tipsily at the wet mouth of her. This is the story of Eve and Adam. But this is the tale that isn't told. Eve slept, processing, processed, and dreamt a fierce dream. In her dream, her feet rose, fingers waxed to feathers. Her throat sobbed a tender note. Trees sang as she soared above a blooming storm. Unbound, she flew above green waves, spun in an abyss of sky, and saw her smallness. For Adam, the forest began a dirge. He ate and lost himself. For moments he forgot his mind, or where the edges of his body ended, no longer knew the line of matter and light, only exquisite blind certainty and delight. The forest folded him and opened. Humming, he laid a cage of bones around him. Whistling, he pulled back her skin and found a ripe blood pear. Firm with spongy flesh, he bit and filled his mouth with earth and metal, sea and sky. He was not repulsed. Like Eve and earth, he knew the gift of blood. In Eve's dream, she flew across a rumbling rise of land which split with terrible care. There she saw their child curled into a mound, a beast of the earth. Out it spilt, suckled on trees and slept. From the knowing of dreams, Eve knew when the earth beast entered the world, greed entered it too. Still, It rose out of the curve of hill and grew. Adam spread his animate feast as the night became alert. He gorged on veins, sliced flesh, gulped fluid, pulp and fat. As he sucked a salty pace, the growing beast of Eve's dream tested, trampled trees in haste, drank dry the nested pools when found, and at the forest edge of sea let out a violent stream of waste. To dreaming Eve, twisting, stamping, thrusting, the creature seemed like it was dancing with all the twisting, stamping, thrusting, but it was not a dance of twisting, stamping, thrusting peace to the music of creation, but a dance of twisting, stamping, thrusting greed, a fit of overstimulation. From reckless holes it twisting, stamping, thrusting, hacked and ate thick sprays of coloured ice. A thick black blood struck the fleeing birds and beasts and killed the rest in flood. A beautiful god, the earth beast grew, muscles glimmered as it powered on. It towered and toughened with each rock bite, its footfall flattened cuts of green. Forest eater, sun defeater, progress beater. Its torso flared with every clump of trees it snatched with its gaining reach. Forest eater, sun defeater, progress beater. Forest eater, sun defeater, progress beater. A crown of shining beetles flew round its head. A flush black carpet rolled ahead. Eyes were suns locking darkness out. Its voice an unrelenting cry. This is the beast that hurts itself. This is the tale that was foretold. Adam saw Eve's yawn of lungs, a bulging butterfly, their parachute rhythm raising and falling, a calling, a cradle. Deaf, he ate the pungent sacs and, puffing through her larynx, bleated as two folds of membrane stretched and shimmered. Her tongue turned round affirmative and spoke. It was the first word. For the language of creation was light and dust and water. Adam named it Yes, and crunched a hollow branch of bronchial. As Eve's breasts raised, rocked and fell, she dreamed of heaven trapped in hell. Wild freedom inside skies of mine, a polluted cage of order, that myth of ribs. She watched the monsters breathing black the sky. As Adam lay down each bone, he sucked the marrow dry. Her hair was indigestible, but made a useful knot to grasp as he picked her brains. Her first eyeball kissed his throat. The second made him choke. In her dream, Eve fell to a clearing of silvered skeletons. The world began to moan. She ran until the monster's footsteps shook her still. Adam swallowed. He'd saved the prize of her heart till last. He wanted fresh, to feel it beat, to suck the heat into himself, to drain the pulse. It was sharp with sweetness, tough. Still, it was not enough. For Eve was not even in her heart. Just two engines pushing life through artery walls, expelling their iambic calls like yin and yang, the drive of will and endless empty, endless fill. Each heart is just an anchor to the self, which is an organ greater than its flesh. The mesh that holds Eve is, in this place, far less than thin, far more. And Adam was left more lost and more lonely than before. Around Adam, the trees wept at the carnage. He swept the leaves away and built a woven dome of rattling hope and bone, and Eve's heart beat in him. Banged drums that sung and stung as each beat bled out its gift to nothing. For this is the heart that beats itself. The ground shivered. The skies clear raged. The mountains pitched and shook the glutted beast, which flared and ripped a noxious vomit over the breaking earth. Its breath burned the air till everything disintegrated, broke down to tiny cells. All matter fell apart. Collapsing, the world opened again. Unfettered by mind, shapes began to breathe and move into a dance. Their dancing was a river. Their dancing built a wave. The river poured from Eve, a river rife and mortal. Breaking, breeding, giving, needing. Breaking, breeding, living, breathing. Their dancing was a river. Their dancing built a wave. The wave collapsed the banks and carved new ways through the land. Eve looked closely at the river. She held it in her hands. And this is the tale that could tell itself. This is the tale that should be told.